So All Inbox was created about 9 years ago. We have about 100 employees now. My role as president, I basically see myself as responsible for the health of the organization, contribute to strategy, major strategy. I oversee HR, finance, and legal. So I cannot take credit for this one. I had been through multiple other coaching programs, and I didn't find any of them terribly rewarding, um, personally or professionally. So Seth, the co-founder, found you guys. I'm actually not even sure how he found you. I think it might have been through one of our business partners. I went along with it because Seth was very passionate about it. He thought we had a long way to go in a variety of areas. I did not see that at the time. I thought we were functioning really well as a business. We had very sustained growth for a period of, I don't know, at the time it was probably 5 or 6 years. Year over year, we were 200%, 100% growth. From the very first time that we sat with you guys in the first hour or so, I realized it was a very different story. We got inspired, really inspired in a way that we hadn't been before by creating a vision together. Formerly, we were very just top down. Seth would really kind of decide what was happening, and everybody would follow suit. As a result of working with you guys, we really became a team. Most of us had never worked on a team that functioned well, where we could share ideas without fear. It's tremendously satisfying to play on a team where everybody gets to contribute to that long-term vision. And then you work towards creating that vision. We became a really great place to work for both leaders and staff. You guys helped us. You suggested the implementation of Net Promoter Score. We implemented that at the company level and at the sort of employee level, and our company level Net Promoter Score went from I think we were like 14, 12 or 14 to start, and in the last quarter we were 62, which puts us among the upper echelons of companies in the U.S. Our comments. I'm more interested in creating a work environment where people find it rewarding and really can have satisfying lives. And it's very clear that our staff thinks that. And there's just great energy throughout the company. When we started, I had one foot out the door. I was not super motivated. I just became, as a result of the organizational health steps that we took, becoming a real part of the team, doing things that I enjoyed doing rather than things that I was forced to do, helping put people in the right places. It just became tremendously rewarding to be working. And so I found myself working more and enjoying it more, and happier in my workplace. And so I became very engaged, and it also gave me a sense that I didn't have before of the value that I really could add to an organization. It's definitely made a big difference for them, because I formerly was kind of micromanaging. This work allowed me to see that they had a lot more to offer than I was allowing them. So I've watched them become leaders themselves. It's pretty amazing to watch that happen. Building trust, having a team that focuses on trust as the core, as like the foundation. It was just game changing for us. We formerly had a CEO who was very dictatorial, and I don't think he gave criticism well. I don't think he took criticism well, and I think that was parts of that are true for me as well. Some of our other management, you helped us become a bit vulnerable with each other. It's not like trust falls and all that sort of mumbo jumbo, but you facilitated conversations that helped us really build trust, and we learned how to talk to each other. From that, all the other steps just started to fall into line. You helped us build conflict, and helped us create accountability. Aside from the Lencioni pyramid, the implementation of the visionary, and I don't know what you call it, the executor, integrator, that was huge for us. Our CEO he's always been a great vision person, was not a great implementation person, was never really focused, not having somebody focused almost exclusively on the production of the health and production of the executive team. Incredibly helpful, incredibly. And also, this sort of goes with the right people, right seats idea. Us putting our integrator into that role, she has just blossomed. She was formerly a project manager having a middling impact, and now she makes all of us 10 times better than we were before. I'll go with the meeting rhythm, the implementation of L10. Our meetings, this is particularly important for a work from home company. Our meetings, we would have one meeting with the entire staff every morning. You count up the man hours that we were putting into these meetings. It's sort of flabbergasting. At the time, I think we had 60 people or something, or 65 people on this call every morning, and it might last 45 minutes. That is a lot of hours. We just revised the whole structure. We created a partner meeting, an executive meeting, then a once a week full company meeting that only lasts 15 minutes. Information flow is just much, much better. This is actually, I think we're probably a little unusual from your other clients, in that I think that we have implemented the things that you wanted us to implement very effectively. Like for example, our Lencioni pyramid, we're top performers in pretty much every category, and every member of the executive team recognizes that, and everybody, it feels like a very well-oiled machine that we're running now. We have not seen revenue growth as a result of this, and that's largely part of industry specific. We rely so heavily on Gmail, for example, to drive our revenue, that if that one relationship isn't performing, we're going to have a hard time seeing growth. But what we have found is that we've been able to sustain very high revenues. We're certainly solving problems and finding other ways of driving revenue, so that if Gmail gets hit, our company just doesn't go down the tubes. We haven't seen great revenue growth yet. There's another important part of this answer, which is that we formerly were a company that was really just thinking about how to make money today. We are now a company that has a long-term, a very long-term vision, that has priorities that are, multi-year items. That, we're working on short-term stuff, but we're also working on very long-term stuff. And so, we're sacrificing a bit in the short term to realize that goal. And we think we're going to turn ourselves into $1 billion organization. It's just going to take some time to get there. I think you need to be big enough that I think you need to be large enough that you have organizational problems to solve, like larger organizational problems to solve. I think it would be helpful to do this for a very small company. I've been through a bunch of startup scenarios, and in a very small company, everybody kind of has to wear multiple hats until you're large enough where you need to figure out what the organization needs to look like. I'm not real confident that a company is ready for this type of coaching. The organizational health stuff would certainly be beneficial right from the start. Um, but your program is much bigger than that. You definitely need uh, there needs to be a very influential person at the company that has to be 100%, 150% on board
Mm-hmm.
with the idea that there is room to grow, and that you don't know everything. Both Susan and I, and it's not like I'm old, but I'm in my mid 40s now, and one of our other business partners is in her 50s. We were comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
We're sort of getting set in our ways, and there needs to be somebody who's very open and wants to drive change in the organization.
Mm-hmm.
For us, that was Seth, and I'm so glad that he had that perspective. I just want to thank you for what you did for us. Um,
Uh,
I'm quite sure that it's going to be paying dividends for the rest of my days.